Okay, hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today's film is Bjarnfreðarson. I think that's how you say it. I am currently in Iceland because my wife and I are here on a honeymoon vacation thing. So Bjarnfreðarson is a very popular film. It opened the same weekend as Avatar. Actually outgrossed it that weekend, and 30% of the population of Iceland saw it. This film is basically there's a show, Night Shift, and then Day Shift, and then Prison Shift, that these three characters are in. And Bjarnfreðarson, and then there's this guy who wants to be an artist, and then there's this kind of party guy. And they call it a trilogy. And then this, so I guess it's like the Crystal Skull or something. This is kind of like his Wolverine origins with Bjarnfreðarson. Bjarnfreðarson is kind of a weird guy. He likes to make things more efficient, not in a way that people actually like. He was in prison and he was hated so much that when he was up for parole, all the prison guards gave him incredible recommendations and found a way to just get him out of there, which was like, it's kind of funny, you know. They basically like really wanted him gone, like, because he was so annoying. Even made like a no smoking part of the jail, which I'm sure pissed everybody off. And you see like how he grew up and how his mom was really weird to him, and she was against capitalism. She was a very famous feminist and did all these kind of protests. And even in Iceland, your last name is your father's name. And so like if I had a kid here, it'd be Fuckforson or Jimson. She made him have her name, which is a little embarrassing. Now it's much more progressive, but at the time it was embarrassing, and the kids made fun of him. And he really, like, kids naturally like capitalism, I think, because when I was a kid, I would talk about capitalism all the time. He wanted an American choo-choo train. You know, you want like the cool toys, and you don't care about the economic bullshit that your parents care about. That was kind of conflicting with being a kid, and you know how he was kind of always an outsider and always kind of weird, and like he even wore a girl's jacket to school and they all made fun of him. But his mom was like, what's the problem? We're smashing down doors and stuff. And you're like, you know, she doesn't get that like kids like to be accepted. They don't want to like break down the walls or anything. He was interviewed on TV as a kid. They're just doing a report asking kids what they want to do when they grow up, and she told everyone he was going to be a great leader. But of course he wanted to be a cowboy and move to America, which she thought was awful. But I think that's an interesting way to show a character. You see these weird people and you're just like, ugh. But you kind of think, how did they get that way? How he became who he was is, I think, what makes this film kind of a better film than just like some continuation of a story, or just like, you know, another sequel. It makes it kind of beyond that, because you're really kind of going in. It's like a character study. You know, obviously they focus on the other two guys, I guess, as fan service, and the other two, their plot lines are alright, but obviously the film's named Bjarnfreðarson, so it's obviously more about him. Their plot lines intersect with him and help him kind of develop, but he's the focus. You know, the other two are also really great. I like them. There are some parts I was like, yeah, I could have done with less of them and more of him. But I guess, you know, it worked out. If you look at the poster, it's like a picture of him, the guy who's in art school, who actually tells everyone he's going to be a doctor. He makes an art show kind of about him. So it's like kind of like this guy, one guy's investigating his past while we're shooting flashbacks of his past, and you see what he's doing now. So it's like, that's like, wow. It's just a really interesting character study. And I had never seen Night Shift or Day Shift or Prison Shift, because I was on a plane. You could watch Night Shift, but that didn't work, so I couldn't watch it. I think, you know, in a way this reminds me of like the British Office and the Trailer Park Boys kind of humor. And I don't know how big it is in America or if anyone's heard of it, but I definitely kind of, I recommend this one if you have seen this film and would like to talk about it. Comment below, and subscribe if you would like to. Polar beer. Wait. Polar beer. Is that it? It's a polar beer?